Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And it is 11:11 here in Winnipeg, Central Time. And we have our Labor Day weekend preview. It's taking a bit of time to get to it as we've been very busy. But then tomorrow we'll have the preview coming out of our next week, including the Banjo Bowl. And Rick, only 3 games this past week. 2.5 really intense games.
Let's just say 2, because the third one wasn't really intense.
It's funny. It looked like it maybe could near the start, but then it just didn't really end up the same way. But the first 2 games were insane. To which, of course, I was in Saskatchewan as I did my video over on the Nolan Hockey Podcast. Make sure you check that out. Also, make sure you guys leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're on Spotify, leave us 5 stars. We very much appreciate your support. But yeah, the first game here. Shall we just get right into it? Because
sure. I'm just curious if you want to know the good, the bad, or the ugly.
What are we calling the good, bad, and ugly for this, Rick?
Okay, so the good, that Zach Collaros threw 326 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Collaros was great. Collaros was fantastic.
So the bad is Oliveira only had 24 yards. And then the ugly.
Well, I can tell you who you can blame the rushing game on. Got an opinion for that.
Then the ugly, I have a toss-up between the over 100 and some odd rushing yards that Winnipeg gave up, and then all of the pressure that Riders got on Zach.
It was the D-line. The ugly was the O-line for Winnipeg. And there's numerous reasons here. So going through this game, so the Saskatchewan Roughriders defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers by a score of 34-30 in a absolutely wild finish where a lot of the Rider fans seemingly thought that they kind of had this, to which at least the ones in the stadium kind of felt like that. But then Zach Collaros said, no, we're going to make this game interesting. And so he would get a passing touchdown where he would throw a big ball for Kevin Sklercius and then a 33-yard pass for Wheatfall. Just a brilliant catch. Like, not going to lie, Winnipeg's receivers were doing really, really well this week, and I expect it to be even better with Ontario Wilson coming in for this next week, which we're going to cover that in the preview. But he makes a great play. Then the Riders playing really well defensively. Now, the Riders do this really weird play where it's third down, and they line up like they're just going to go for it normally. But then they actually fake a normal play and end up punting it. This is them trying to catch the Bombers without a returner. And the Riders, at first, it appears that they just tackle him in the end zone normally. So a lot of Rider fans were screaming that this is a safety. However, the ref's ruling was that it was not a safety, and that it was actually a single. And the reason is that it's not like he was stuck in the backfield and was like, if you have an instance where a running back's caught in the backfield or a quarterback is sacked in the backfield and he's tackled, that's a safety. That's 2 points. However, and because it's usually last forward progression, but the problem here is that the Bombers returner, I believe it was Peyton Logan, or no, it wouldn't have been Peyton Logan. I don't know who it was because it wasn't a returner. Bombers essentially grab this ball. They run out of the end zone. They see pressure. They retreat into the end zone on their own accord. And at that point, he goes down. And so because of that, it is ruled just a rouge because he went back in on his own accord. I believe that was the explanation that the CFL gave. I'm not going to pretend to have read the CFL rulebook like page for page. I'll put it this way. From some of the connections my brothers have in sports media, it's not. There was no, like, I've heard about some instances where they thought the CFL got the wrong call there. Even some of the Riders media in their press box seemingly were fine with this call. And with me, I was relatively relieved, as with it being a single, this meant that the Bombers still had an opportunity to tie the game with a 2-point conversion. So the Bombers go on one hell of a drive. Zach Collaros, with all the pressure he's getting, escapes the pocket. And I'm sorry, was throwing balls down there that I don't think no quarterback in this league is hitting. Some of the passes that he was hitting, the only one who maybe hits those is Bo Levi Mitchell. But I'm also not sure, because with Collaros, when he's scrambling and making that throw while running sideways on his off leg, this is where Collaros is just another level of quarterback. And I'm not going to pretend that he's perfect, that he doesn't make mistakes. But when push comes to shove and Zach Collaros plays desperate football, I think he does it better than anyone. People will point to that pass, the 2-point conversion, which is brought back by Campbell. And I understand why. But the fact of the matter is that play, as much as it's maybe not the best throw by Collaros, Zach Collaros, it's one of those things where you're under that kind of a pressure, and he was looking for certain routes. He was looking for Schoen available because he had that 6-yard pass for the touchdown. It looked like he was looking for a similar one, and it wasn't available. So Zach has to pivot, try to go somewhere else with it. And it was one of those things where it just didn't end up working. And so it's hard to put that. It's hard to, as much as he doesn't make that, that's a hard play to make with that kind of pressure, with that much of the game riding on it. And in my opinion, the Bombers, if they just played a little bit better than they did, if they just kind of figured out a couple of the problems or even just one of the problems, they probably win this game. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of 3 things that come to mind for me as issues in this game. Number 1, Jason Hogan. When you have an MOP running back, run the fucking ball. Brady Oliveira was 24 yards on 5 rushes for an average of 4.8 rushes. I understand that that's maybe a little under the average you're looking for. You're looking for 5. But you only had 5 rushes. You barely got a sample size. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if he rushed 16 times and he was averaging like 3 yards per rush or whatever, like, good God, don't fucking quit on your incredible running back so goddamn quickly. Don't. Secondly, offensive line. I'm not going to lie. There are members of this offensive line I love. Gabe Wallace was not one of them in this game. Gabe Wallace's guy was the guy that tackled Collaros on 3 of the 5 sacks. I don't know about you. If you know any math, that means that if you're pointing the finger of shame across the O-line and it has to land on someone, it's landing on him. And it's not that he can't be a great O-lineman. I've seen it. He played at least the first game for the Bombers of the season, and the O-line was fantastic in that game. It's one of those things where they struggled with a veteran D-line, and I expect to see it improve in the next game. To be honest, I would prefer Micah Vanterpool in that spot. The problem is Wallace is a Canadian, Vanterpool is not, so if someone could run to Ottawa and get this motherfucker a citizenship, that would be great, but I understand that that's not always viable. But there was that issue. Actually, there were 4 issues that I was thinking of. So because of that, the other fact of the matter is that they weren't really able to rush block effectively to get Oliveira the chances you need. Again, I still think you should have given him more than 5 carries. As with that, you're not getting much. So that was an issue. Penalties, discipline. So firstly, Willie Jefferson takes an offside on 3rd down when they're ready to punt. Now, Willie Jefferson is lucky that we don't end up getting scored on in terms of any points on this drive. But Saskatchewan now, instead of having to punt, has a 1st down and can now run, and our defense has to do all that work all over again. When they are in punt formation, they are going to go on 2. They're going to go on 3. They're going to do whatever they can to pull you offside. I would rather you be more cautious to make sure you don't go offside. And because of that, you're not able to get quickly enough to the punter to block the punt, but us get possession. I'd rather get possession with our drive, wherever it is, even if it's back, so our offense can do its work, rather than risking taking that penalty and now we're playing defense all over again when it was already hard enough for us. So there was a bad play by Willie Jefferson. He actually got benched for about a drive. Well deserved. That was earned. O'Shea, right call there. But I would not be opposed to Willie Jefferson not playing on third down. Not that I don't love Willie Jefferson. I love Willie Jefferson. But the reason he's so quick is because sometimes he's offside. He's so quick. So when you have a play where you can't afford a guy to go offside, don't do it. Other thing. There was an instance where Brady Oliveira gets like a 25-yard rush. Or like 20 yards, 15. I don't know. It was a good rush. It was for sure a first down. That then doesn't count because we took a procedure penalty. So we got to redo this whole shit again. Okay. Then we go and it's a pass for, I want to say Dylan Mitchell. And then it gets called back because frickin' Nick Dembski runs pass interference. So these are two potentially first down plays that get overruled because of penalties. And then we try it again. Oh, but wait, but Gabe Wallace is offside on this play. And now we're back, and it's like second down and like 4 kilometers back because we kept taking stupid penalties. And then Jason Hogan, who hasn't fucking run the ball all game, is like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna run the ball now. I'm gonna run the ball when we need 24 yards." I don't get it. I don't understand how for the majority of this game, a former running backs coach fucking hates running backs and then only runs them when it doesn't mean anything. I love Brady Oliveira, but expecting him to get 24 yards is insanity. On a run is insanity. It's not happening. Not when you need it like that. And now, and not only that, and this is just pure coincidence, Brady Oliveira fumbles the ball on that play. We lose possession.
Wait, question. Didn't he fumble it, Riders pick it up, and then they turn around and fumbled it? Or was that a different play?
I don't know. There's so many goddamn fumbles. But the Riders had a fumble on their own 5-yard line. The Bombers kicked a field goal on that. Yeah. We had 1st and 5. And we didn't get a touchdown. I'm sorry, but that is unacceptable. When you are 5 yards away from the end zone, there is no excuse to not get a touchdown. And the Bombers make a mistake here. I like the idea of running Streveler. I do. Not at the 5-yard line. If you got Streveler, you got to be 3 yards or less. When you're at the 5-yard line, when Streveler goes out on the field, you think Corey Mace hasn't been watching film? You think the Riders haven't been watching film? The Riders watched, I guarantee you, I promise you, they watched film of the Bombers game a couple weeks ago against the Argos, when they beat the Argos at home. When Streveler was playing. When Streveler threw an interception when they were near the end zone. And so I guarantee you, they saw that and were like, Chris Streveler is out here. They ain't making that mistake again. They're not going to throw the ball near the end zone. They know it's a running play. You're basically telling Saskatchewan it's a running play. I'm not saying don't run the ball, but if you're the Bombers, have Collaros out there. Have Collaros run the ball. Have Collaros run that outside because you have to keep it guessing. When you fake the handoff with Chris Streveler, you think anybody out of anybody's grandma thinks that ball's not getting ran? Everybody fucking knows that ball is getting ran. If it's Collaros, they legitimately are going to believe that Oliveira gets the ball there. You got Collaros peel out wide. And it's not like the Bombers haven't done this. They have. Stupid. It's just dumb. Didn't do it. Wasn't happy with it. I think you just gave it away. You gave away your play. And it just, in my opinion, it was a foolish decision. Streveler should be in for short yardage. 1st and 5 is not short yardage. It's not. He shouldn't be on the field. And so, yeah, I have a problem with that. Yes?
You don't need to preach, brother, because we had the exact same thing on our friggin' game where we were at the friggin' 6-yard line and we had to kick a friggin' field goal of
Yeah,
the
no, it's
opposite
stupid.
team.
Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. Dalton Schoen played
So
well.
frustrating.
Dylan Mitchell, in his limited role, I thought was pretty good. Nick Dembski, who's currently looking to potentially being the most outstanding Canadian, is doing what he can to try to get that. He's still playing great. Even despite him getting roughed up in the prior game, I thought he looked great. Dalton Schoen made some really, really clutch catches. Wheatfall, on the 2 catches he did make, I thought looked a lot more like his, especially that one catch in the end zone for the touchdown. That was more of the Wheatfall that I've been looking for. I thought he was great. Castillo, he had missed one, but it was from it was 50 something. Like, it's one of those things. It's not a kick that he can't make. I mean, if you're Sergio Castillo, you can make basically any kick that has been made in the CFL. He has the record for the longest kick, so there's no denying it. But it's one of those things where he's not perfect. I mean, he didn't miss a convert that night. That was Brett Lothar. But Sergio Castillo played okay. Sheehan was all right. He had one that got an illegal punt out of bounds, but then the Riders, I think, then took the same penalty, so it kind of cancels out. But if you're looking at the Riders side of things, Trevor Harris plays good enough in the sense of
Decent.
he plays decent. His completion percentage isn't great. It's 17 for 27. Probably want a little bit more than that, but it is what it is. AJ Ouellette, they rushed this ball 18 times for 89 yards. He gets a touchdown. Average 4.9, so it's actually below probably the average you're wanting. Anderson Jr., 11.3 on average. He has 3 rushes, 2 touchdowns for 34 yards. He looked far better than AJ Ouellette did. And maybe it's just he's a little bit of a smaller guy, is what it is, but worked well for him. Neal did pretty well. 3 receptions for 86 yards, 1 touchdown for him. Brett Lothar hit the field goal that he needed to hit at 34 yards. Missed the extra point. He did get bailed out by his team later, though, when they were able to get the 2-point conversion to make that up. Jameer Thurman, I believe, got a record number tackle or something like that. I think he hit like a personal milestone. I can't remember what it was. Good game for him. Good game for Roland Milligan Jr. The 1 interception was made by Campbell in the end zone. To be honest, that was just an extremely clutch defensive play by Campbell. But it's one of those things where Zach Collaros is a top 3 quarterback in this league. There's no denying it. There isn't.
So, question for you.
And the Bombers if they fixed any one of those issues, if they played better, if they were better disciplined and they didn't take the penalties they took, I think the Bombers win this game. If the Bombers O-line could put up a better block, whether for the run game or the passing game, and Collaros doesn't get sacked 5 times, I think the Bombers win this game. If Jason Hogan decides to rush the ball more, and so that way the passing wasn't always as predictable, I think they win this game. If they didn't have Strevler out there when it's 1st and 5, and the Bombers instead of getting a field goal got a touchdown, and they got 4 points there, to which they never would have needed to go for the 2-point conversion, then the Bombers would win this game by a score of 35-32.
I then have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So are you just talking in general, or are you talking about this season with Zach Collaros?
Am I saying overall, like, career-wise, or this season?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Because you said he's a top 3, so I'm just wondering, are you talking career or this season?
I'm saying at this point in time right now, in 2025.
Okay.
It's not even just this season. It's just right now. It's taking into account prior seasons, but it's also looking at this question right now. I'm saying, gun to my head, if you're saying, okay, you're building a CFL team and you can have one quarterback to try and win this year. Like, I'm not going to account for his age and Rourke's age and whatnot. Saying, if you're wanting to win a Grey Cup this year and you had a brand new team but you want to win it now and whatnot, I'm saying Zach Collaros is one of your top 3 picks.
No. The reason why I'm asking is, I'm just curious. Who's your other 2 then?
Who's your other two? Bo Levi Mitchell is.
there's okay.
Bo Levi Mitchell is in there.
Then you would have to decide.
I think I go Vernon Adams Jr.
Ooh.
I think I go Vernon Adams.
Fair enough.
I think he's a dual threat. I think Cody Fajardo can also be considered. But I think he's enough.
Go with Nathan Rourke, to be honest.
No. Nathan Rourke's too streaky.
No.
In the future, yes. I think Nathan Rourke in the future is. Too streaky, though, for now. I think the consistency of the guys I mentioned is better. And maybe you can make the argument that Rourke has a little bit more consistency than Zach Collaros.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Fair enough. But, at the end of the day, there's two big reasons why I would say that you can consider Zach Collaros more than Nathan Rourke. Because newsflash, because at least one of these, they beat fucking BC in the play. How many times has BC lost in the playoffs to Winnipeg? Genuine question. I don't know. Seems like it's a lot. Seems like an annual tradition.
Speaking of which, I know I wanted to save this for the preview, but I'm going to bring it up anyways because we're doing this week's review.
Yeah.
Carter, how nervous are you for the Banjo Bowl?
Not nervous, excited.
Because you guys could be possibly swept by the Riders this year.
Yeah, or we could potentially send a bunch of Rider fans home sad. So what?
With their banjos.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking Cotton Eye Joe back to Mosaic. Okay. Also, I have to say, this is something I completely forgot about that the Riders do. Do you remember what the Riders did between the third and fourth quarter? The fans that they do in the crowd? They did this last year. I completely forgot about this. It's called the Saskatchewan Pirate. And it's basically their version of the seventh inning stretch for baseball that they do between the third and fourth quarter, where they, and they're dancing around or whatever. To which I texted my brother. My brother's in the press box at the Rider game. To which I said that a sea shanty for the most landlocked of landlocked provinces is fucking hilarious. Because that's what it was, a sea shanty. That's what it was. To which my brother got a nice chuckle from the press box. But yeah, all in all, this game, if anything, this game shows how close these teams are. And if there's anything that this shows as well, is I think Calgary's the best team in the West. I do, because Calgary swept both of these teams. Both of them. And so, if anything, I think this shows how incredibly close the Bombers and the Riders are. And, the Riders play a little bit better at home in front of their crowd. Bombers play a little bit better at home in front of their crowd. At the end of the day, Labor Day, as a tradition, is a close game.
The only thing is,
I'm almost ready for the next one, by the way.
I'm pretty sure Calgary or Saskatchewan has the easiest schedule down the road.
Oh, they might. I'm saying if you're asking me who the best team is.
I mean, there's only.
I'm saying if you come to playoffs,
one loss difference.
Yeah.
Anywho,
next one, which is where the Toronto Argonauts, in a nail biter finish similar to the game before it, defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats by a score of 35-33. And I will say, Rick, if there's anything as a Ticat fan you can be frustrated about, guys gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter.
So there's
I'm not even just taking out that field goal that they got to win the game. They gave up 2 touchdowns that quarter before that.
There's multiple things I have a problem with this game. First off, the game started friggin' 2 field goals each a team. I'm like, none of us can fucking run. No one can throw. We're just gonna fucking kicking game, and whoever kicks the most field goals wins.
So are we officially at the point where now, if you're Toronto, you don't even consider bringing Chad Kelly back? Because Nick
Joke's
Arbuckle.
on you because you heard the news?
I heard the news, and I question it
So
because Nick Arbuckle goes
here's
33 for 40, 352 passing yards, including a really clutch one at the end of the game to win the game. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and now we think that Chad Kelly and all the baggage he brings is fucking worth it.
so here's the thing that I have with that is I'm not, saying this pro Kelly. I'm not saying this pro Arbuckle. But you cannot sit there and tell me you're gonna pay a guy $400,000 or whatever he's getting paid to
Yeah.
sit on the bench.
Obviously, you have never heard of the BC Lions. It is fucking possible, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Whoa.
You obviously have never heard of the BC Lions last year, where Vernon Adams Jr. was staring down an MOP year, and the Lions were like, "Tough shit, buddy. We got the young bitch."
Well, that's the thing that people are nervous about is that it's going to be the whole BC Lions thing all over again.
Well, no, it won't be the
is,
BC Lions situation because nobody wants to trade for Chad Kelly.
But the thing is, Toronto's only 2 points behind BC, but BC has a game in hand.
If I'm Toronto, I get rid of Chad Kelly in the way that the Argos got rid. If you think about it, Chad Kelly is very similar to Nick Arbuckle in terms of the way he got a starting job. Okay, if you think about it, Chad Kelly gets the starting job because McLeod Bethel Thompson plays the majority of the Grey Cup game against Winnipeg, the first time that the Argos beat the Bombers in recent memory. McLeod Bethel Thompson goes down partway through that game. Chad Kelly comes in. Chad Kelly goes on a generational fucking run in that game, and he wins the game. And Toronto's like, Bethel Thompson is, like, we're going to get rid of him. We're going to keep with this Chad Kelly guy. This guy got us the win at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Then Chad Kelly, the next year, he plays and he has a whole year and then they flop in the playoffs. Then the next year, Chad Kelly plays the whole year. And then in the East Final, Chad Kelly goes down. And so now going into the Grey Cup, Nick Arbuckle is your starting QB. Nick Arbuckle taking the reins. And he goes on a crazy run that we never thought from Nick Arbuckle, and he wins the Grey Cup and is Grey Cup MVP or MOP, whatever one they use for that. Nick Arbuckle is now been playing the majority of the next season. Nick Arbuckle in the past has been not the greatest starter. He's been kind of, this or that.
So,
I think he has played well enough to... I think he's earned it. I think Nick Arbuckle has earned the right to be a starter in the CFL. And he's 31, so you still get more years out of him. Yeah.
So, a couple of things. So, the only time he really put up yards like he did this year was in 22 when he split between Ottawa and Edmonton.
Yeah. And fun fact, Nick Arbuckle is younger than Chad Kelly by around 6 months-ish. He's a younger QB than Chad Kelly is. Chad Kelly's older.
Okay, so if we use your point and say, okay, Nick Arbuckle deserves to be number one.
And again, this is without even mentioning all the baggage that Chad Kelly has from his personal antics.
I'm just gonna use your theory. Okay, so if you say, okay, Nick Arbuckle, we're gonna give you QB1 money, whatever it is. If he turns around and does not put up numbers this year, you're now paying him QB1 money if he's not putting up QB1 numbers.
You're talking Nick Arbuckle?
Yes.
I'm not saying give him a raise.
I'm just saying a general question.
I'm saying just keep paying him what you are. Keep him as your starting quarterback. There's nothing he has. He's under contract. You don't have to give him more. On his next deal, you can.
Oh, his contract's up at the end of the season.
At the end of the season, exactly. But for the rest of the year, you can pay him the current rate. What I'm saying is, next year, drop Chad Kelly and give some of that money to Arbuckle. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. Give him a raise, give him a little bit of bump.
That's what I'm saying is, hypothetically, even if, say, you give him $325,000, whatever it is. I don't know what he's making now, but even if you give him 325,000, and he has a down year next year, you're now have to pay him that money. I would say, okay, if I was the GM, I'd say, okay, I'll give you a little bit more than what you're earning, but I'm not going to give you top QB money, even though you just won as a Grey Cup last year and you're having an outstanding season, because then you don't know what next year.
Because here's the thing, Chad Kelly's contract expires what, at the end of next year?
Yes.
And I understand.
Bonus on top of that.
And I understand it's a lot of money, but here's my argument.
Mm-hmm.
You are owned by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. You are owned by a company that is stupid rich, where 300,000 is pennies to them.
No, I get
this
that,
is not a company that owns millions. This is a company that owns billions. This is a $1 billion company. In my opinion, losing Kelly, the pros outweigh the cons.
But I mean, you still owe him his bonus though, and that still counts to next year.
Yeah, pay him and have it be for nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So if you give out that bonus is part of next year's contract. You're now out that money.
Well, but is it a performance bonus, or what kind of bonus is it?
I mean, signing bonuses are still counted towards the cap.
Signing bonus you pay when you sign him, do you not? So they would have already paid this.
Contract and stuff.
Yeah, but they've already paid. But that's money they've already paid. If it's the signing bonus, that's money he's getting, bang, right now.
No,
but he received that in August 2023.
But what I'm saying is, if there's something in your contract that states, okay, every year we will give you X amount on this date every year,
then bite the bullet.
Still counts
then bite the bullet. Then bite the bullet.
Anyways, we kind of got off topic.
Yes.
But Spencer Brown, okay, not considering that they only dressed one running back. I thought he did
great. 10 rushes for 90 yards, an average of 9 yards per rush. That's more than what you're asking for.
Don't forget 9 carries for 64 yards on top of it.
Yeah, you're talking for receiving yards. Yeah.
So he had 150 all-purpose yards.
Yeah. I will say, if we're looking on the Ticat side of things, 171 receiving yards for Keandre Smith. An average of 24.4. Kenny Lawler, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's exactly what I remember of that beautiful, beautiful man.
Except for you guys weren't doing that 9 for 9, 2 touchdowns. You guys were doing that on the Riders, not the Ticats. There's a difference. The only downside thing that I have for this game, no running game. Our offensive line gave up a bunch of sacks. And our defense couldn't tackle worth shit. As you can see on that fucking last play. That was one of them. But there's others that they could not tackle.
Yeah.
But our defensive line still got 4 sacks. And a block punt for a touchdown.
Yeah. But, is there anything else we got for this game, or shall we get to the last one?
We shall get to the last one.
The last game where the Calgary Stampeders defeated the Edmonton Elks by a score of 28-7.
Defeated?
Because what'd you say?
You got a weird definition of defeating.
I mean, did they not defeat?
It was a complete ass whooping.
I was about to say
3-1-3.
The Calgary Stampeders. Calgary Stampeders watched the first 2 games that happened this weekend, and then said they got to get at least one boarding game this week. Like, they can't just we ain't giving this shit out for free. And Cody Fajardo plays actually decent. Like, he's around 66% roughly. He's okay. 255 passing yards. No picks thrown. No touchdowns thrown either, but he's okay. Vernon Adams Jr., he throws touchdown. His average is actually probably a lot worse than Fajardo's.
Like he tried.
With 162 passing yards, which is uncharacteristically not a lot for him. And his one touchdown throw, he didn't really try too much. Then again, didn't look like he really had to. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is the Edmonton Elks, they were not destined for a 4-game win streak. And again, they're playing against the in my opinion, the best team in the West, which I think is Calgary, because the two teams that you can argue for, the other two teams you can argue for best spot in the West is Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, and Calgary smacked both of them in the mouth. I say this as a Bomber fan. They smacked my team in the mouth. They did. Now, in the last game, I think the Bombers played a lot closer to him, and potentially, if they played a fourth time, the Bombers, in my opinion, have improved enough that they maybe have now gotten closer to getting over the hump. I think the Bombers have gotten closer to beating Calgary than Saskatchewan has. Personal opinion. I know some people wouldn't like that, but that's fine. They can play their banjo. But with Calgary, yeah, they've been smacking teams around, and they continued that this game. And Cody Fajardo, like, credit to him, even like where it's due. 44 rushing yards on 6 rushes for Cody Fajardo, an average of 7.3 from when he's scrambling outside the pocket. So he's both effective inside the pocket and out. But it was one of those things where they just this Edmonton team just kind of struggled to deal with the juggernaut of the Stampeders, where the Stampeders were just putting up points every quarter, whether it was first quarter touchdown, 22 pass for Dominic Rhymes, Paredes with a 33 and a 49-yard field goal in the second, a punt return touchdown in the third quarter for Julian, and then a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter. It was just kind of a nonstop pressure by the Stampeders, and the Edmonton Elks, just their offense wasn't able to get enough. It was one of those things where they were able to get a field goal here, a single here, but they didn't get a single touchdown in this game, and the Edmonton Elks offense was just not able to be productive enough against the Stampeder defense. The Stampeder defense was pretty good. And a punt return touchdown, that's giving up a special teams touchdown is never good. So that was kind of the problem for Edmonton here.
Don't forget, I know we're going to mention the preview, but we have a triple header on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that going to be lovely?
It is.
But we'll mention that in the preview.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we got here, Rick?
Yeah, hopefully we can turn shit around and win a game this week.
That's right. And if you haven't already, a video I made literally in the car on the way from Saskatchewan back to Winnipeg on the signing of Ontario Wilson.
I bet your parents were interested to hear you.
Oh, I asked my parents if they could mute the radio, and they did that, and it was lovely. They're like, okay, yeah, sounds good, dude. I don't know. They've kind of, my parents have, like, I don't know, my parents and my brother, well, I mean, my brother does it with me and for a lot of this stuff, but everyone's just kind of, my parents have just gotten used to me and Zach just constantly recording shit in the house and recording stuff in the car. And like, literally, like, my review, I don't know if you saw my review, Rick, of the Labor Day game. I literally, I set up in the car, like, literally just click on the video on your phone right now. I just want you to go check it out. Just see what the background looks like.
Okay, hold on.
Where you could
don't care about your 10 countries.
May have to watch an ad to get it all started.
No.
But if you check out the video, you'll see that I went to the car. I put my laptop down. I set up my light right here in the passenger side. And I grabbed a Bomber flag and I attached it, like, one side I attached into right where the sunroof is. Yeah, I could see it. I clipped part of the flag into the sunroof and the other part of the flag into, like, the handle on the door in the back seat to, like, hang the Bomber flag. And I just recorded it there. Like, some people would just, like, walk past on the sidewalk and, like, what's this guy doing in his car at, like,
you know what's weird,
midnight?
Though? Like, that ride home must have freaking sucked.
Not really. Like, it was one of those things where, like, it's not that far of a drive. Like, it's like maybe 5.5 hours, but I mean, to be honest, I was just it didn't feel like a while because
you're just recording and then.
Well, I recorded that short video. I watched the majority of the Argo Tycat game, which I'm now paying for, by the way, as I don't have very much data left on my phone. I used up most of it there. But then I don't know. I just kind of played some games on my phone, and I just kind of chilled. You know, it's not too bad.
You know, that's why I love to have 150 gigs, because no one in their right mind is gonna go through a fucking 150 gigs in a month.
Yeah. Maybe I gotta upgrade plans. Maybe that's the problem. Anyways, though, I don't know why we're talking about phone plans at the end of this video, as it's clear we're done our video and we need to.
One thing that I want to mention to you. I just want to do this quick little bit. Go to the link I just sent you on Discord. I just want to ask you this one quick question. Okay, you opened it up, right?
Yeah, I'm opening it. Yep.
Okay, out of the top, probably 14 receivers, from Hatcher to Eberhardt.
Yeah.
How many of them do you think will at least maybe be close to 1,000 yards within by the end of the season? Considering that there's 6 to 7, maybe 8 games, depending on the team left.
Let's see. I'm gonna say at least. Well, Keon Hatcher's already made it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I mean, because if you really think about it, that's.
I'm gonna say at least. I'm gonna say 10 receivers.
10 receivers. I don't even know when the last. I'll have to look that up for our next video to see how many receivers we had that had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Because the top 4 should at least be able to get 1,000 yards. Well, Coxie's on the 6th game now, so I don't know if he'll get.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
And I
to be fair though, he's not that far. If he plays even 2 games, he should have it.
I even found out today that Devarius Daniels got added to the 6th game as well.
Yeah, I'd say conservatively at least 8 should make it.
And one minor bomber piece of news.
Mm-hmm.
K-Ron Moore got released.
Well, yeah, I don't know if the Bombers were necessary. Well, because it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, sorry, Kyler Moore, but this guy named Ontario Wilson became available.
Also, Schmeckel got added to the 6th game.
Yeah, he got hurt pretty good in the last game.
But anywho, that's all I have to say for now.
But anyways, we will have our preview where we talk about all the shenanigans going into this next game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit the notification bell. Helps out the channel a ton. And yeah, peace, love, and positivity to all you wonderful people at home. Thank you to everyone who joined Rick, Connor, and others on the CFL Fans Fight Cancer Walk.
4,000 steps I did.
Yes. Thank you to all who joined out in the walk. Anyone who donated. Means a lot
sponsored.
To everyone. To Rick, Connor, me. And I'm going to say more to you guys because you guys were directly involved. Dallas,
one
everyone.
thing that I want to say is I got to give it, because the TV stations didn't do it.
Yep.
There's one particular person I got to give a shout out for.
Yep.
And that is to Dan Moore, who has cerebral palsy, and this guy still walked fucking 40 kilometers.
Bro killed it. There you go.
He did kill it.
And there's 2 shout-outs I actually want to do. There's two more shout-outs I actually want to do. Firstly, I want to shout out to Carson, who on Instagram is known as RiderPride_89, who Rick, we lost Rick. Hold on a second. Rick cannot leave us in the middle of a shout-out. Hold on a second. We're going to get Rick back. Oh my goodness, this happens almost every video now. Rick crashes out. I don't know what exactly happened. Maybe I upset him. Let's see here. Where is Rick? We're going to keep the footage going. This is how you know it's authentic. Oh, there's Rick. What?
Oh, because you're like, man, I like to give a shout out to Carson, who's also known as Ryder, and then it's just like, no, you can't do that. We gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's preventing me from doing the plug. Shout out to Carson of RiderPride_89 on Instagram, who actually I had gotten up during halftime at Mosaic Stadium and decided to purchase myself a piece of pizza because I was hungry. To which
Oh.
I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and he basically has this, and he's like, "Hey, is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, hey, I run like this channel." I'm like, "Oh, there, or this Instagram page." I'm like, "Oh, nice." And I had a good chat with him. He's a good feller. And he was very, very kind. And so shout out to Carson there. And one more shout out to Logan, who is a Bomber fan, who I ran into at the hotel I was staying at, to which he said, "Hey, do you run a YouTube account with your brother?" To which I said, "Yes, I do. I actually run two, that and my Canadian Football Central one." And he was like, "Holy shit, nice meeting you." I'm like, "Nice meeting you too, man. You're a good dude. We appreciate it."
You know how many people have actually stopped me at like games like, "Oh, I've known you from this channel."
Yeah.
Channel.
So appreciate anyone who does. If you ever run into us in any stuff, don't hesitate to say hi. Just specify you're a viewer, so I know you're a viewer and not a stalker.
Or that too, with all the stalkers that wrestling people have these days.
Oh my
But
goodness.
the odd time I will call Carter on Snapchat and be like, "Look who I ran into."
Yeah, exactly. But I got those plugs out of the way. I think that's all I got. Is there anything else you got, Rick?
Nope, nothing else from me.
All right. Peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home. Tune into our video coming out tomorrow. We'll see you guys next time.